Another good practice. You know, it's always exciting when you see guys into it, and we're certainly into it, and we just have to bring that energy to the ballpark on Saturday. And obviously we got a lot to correct and fix between now and then, and hopefully we'll use that same energy to get that accomplished. But I like where we're at and looking forward to playing a tough road game in Salt Lake.
Might we see more of Randall Carroll based on what we saw out there today?
No. Aaron will be fine. Aaron tweaked an ankle, but we expect him to be ready to go.
They throw the word around like a trap game after a big win like you had against Arizona State. Is Utah too good for this to be a trap game?
Absolutely. There's no such thing as a trap game, and I don't think Arizona was a trap game. You know, Arizona played better than we did, and we couldn't get them off the field, and so forth. Trap, you know, we aren't in a position. Trap games are for those teams that are dominant teams that, you know, we aren't in a position to play like that. We are fighting for our lives, and it's got to be that way every week, regardless of the opponent. And when you're playing a quality opponent on the road, it has to be that and then some.
Where does White stack up among the running backs you will have faced this year?
He's right there. You know, he's. I expect him to be in the conversation when the coaches get on the conference call about all conference performers. He's a really good player.
You've used the phrase, I think it was after the game, that the relationship between Jim and Mike, just in terms of calling the offense, has gotten better. Talk about, you know.
Well, I don't. Better is not the right word. It's just evolved. You know, they don't know each other until we put them together, and now as games have unfolded, it's like yin and yang. They start to feel. You know, better means that it was strained or something at the beginning. That wasn't the case. It was. It's just, you know, they're starting to get comfortable with how the other one thinks. Yeah. That's fair.
Any more clarity with the Dietrich Riley situation?
Dietrich saw another doctor, and probably will see another one, you know, as his options. But it doesn't look like it's a career-ending injury. It looks as if he'll be back. The question is when.
Possibly season-ending?
Don't know that yet, but potentially.
Tony Tyler's running around out there. Is he feeling better?
He's feeling better, you know. We'll see how that leads to, but he's feeling better.
You guys haven't had a team in first place since you've been here. I mean, how do you have to learn how to be a first place team?
Well, we're not talking about places. We're talking about Utah. You know, and I'm not trying to make light of your question. We're not at that place in our development to be worried about places right now. We got to be worried about blocking and tackling and doing our best against the Utah Utes.
So, Walt, thoughts for him for this weekend?
You know, I'm optimistic. You know, it's a hip injury that sore, but I think by game time he'll be ready to roll.
How do you think that the 2 games off for Cassius has affected him?
Well, you know, I think everybody has a little time for some introspection when you have that kind of time off. And, you know, Cassius understood that what he did was incorrect. You know, he thought he was doing it for the right reasons, but the actions merited a suspension. And so the key is now that he you know, figure out how to respond, and you know, I'm fully confident that he will. You know, he's a great young man. He wants to do the right things, and I'm looking forward to him being that person this weekend.
Passionate, a word to describe passionate?
Oh yeah, definitely passionate.
The news of Paterno's retirement, how does that affect?
You know, that whole story is tragic. There's nothing to say other than it's a tragedy, all across the board. Have always been a huge fan of Joe Paterno's and will continue to be so, but I can say nothing other than that is a tragedy.
Brijo today?
Brijo's going to get some throws right now. We're going to just kind of get the oil can out and see if we can't get him unrusty.
Being familiar with Norm's offense, how helpful can you be to Coach Tracy in that side of the ball this week?
I'm glad you're not asking him that. You know, having been around with Norm, I have, a sense of how he calls a game. But he knows that I know how he calls a game. So it's the ultimate rock, scissors, paper game. It's like he knows that I'll be thinking that this is what he's going to do, so he might do something else. And by jumping in and interjecting, I could be causing the thing to go awry. And so I want to trust the defensive coaches. They've done the film study there. But I'm going to pay close attention. I'll be involved. I got a headset, so if need be, I can interject. Everybody good? All right, thank you.